One of the things that sticks in my mind is a quotation that I saw well, it's really been a long time ago, that said, if you can read this, thank a teacher. And that's a very, very important statement, and it kind of emphasizes the importance of education. At one point, you know, reading was everything. But in addition to reading, now you got technology that's really taking over and is becoming an integral part of success in our community. And I really, really, truly feel like, you know, education is the key, and that everybody in the community, out of the community, and around the community should be extremely concerned about education. So I'm more than just a little happy to be able to bring this show to you from an educational institution, Cirrus Charter Academy. And I'm even more happy to be able to interview the superintendent. Y'all like the way I said that? The superintendent of this facility in the person of Dr. Ashanti Johnson. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and we're happy to have you here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I had the pleasure of walking through this. You know, I'm a teacher. You know, I taught school. A lot of people don't know that. But by desire, by nature, by training, by ambition, and a lot of other things, I'm truly and very interested in education and in young people, and full well realize the importance of education for the advancement of our community, because some of them can be doctors and scientists and things of that nature. So first of all, before we talk about the school and STEAM, we're going to talk about what STEAM means. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, wait, and don't forget to talk about your appearance in Essence magazine.
Okay. Thank you. So I have a PhD in oceanography. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I've always been committed to not only being active in science and STEAM, but helping others, particularly underrepresented minorities. And so I have a track record from being on faculty at various universities, Georgia Tech, Savannah State, University of South Florida, most recently at University of Texas, Arlington, where I was the administrator, assistant vice provost, and a professor. But in the midst of all of that science, then there was always a commitment to give back. I'm a child of the 70s. And so in the 70s, that's what we taught. As you lift as you climb, right?
Right.
And so with that, there was always, if I learn, how can I help somebody else? If I'm getting better, how can I help somebody else? So that was something that was instilled in me very young by my parents. And so with that, I've been able to be successful in getting over $15 million in grants to help underrepresented minorities in STEM. And so I have been successful and been recognized by that in several things, including this most recent issue of Essence magazine, where I've been identified as one of the new guard in STEAM. And also another highlight for me was last year when I represented the United States in Cambodia for their Science and Engineering Festival. So the Department of State contacted me, and they said, we'd like for you to go represent the United States.
Wow.
And so being at the embassy, speaking in the Olympic Stadium and at all the different audiences, and seeing that our STEM science is not just for our students, but globally, there's an interest for it, was amazing. And I guess another one, since you asked me to tell about the high point, was when I had an opportunity to be awarded with the Presidential Mentoring Award by President Obama for the work that I've done in mentoring and encouraging students to pursue STEM degrees. So
that's so outstanding, and congratulations. You know, I feel almost undeserving to be sitting here with someone who has all of those kinds of accomplishments and honors. Well, I see you fluctuating between STEM and STEAM. So a lot of people really don't realize the importance, particularly in today's society, the importance of STEM and STEAM. One of them has an A, the other one doesn't. So talk a little bit about that.
So when I'm saying STEM, I'm saying science, technology, engineering, and math. Cirrus Academy is a STEAM school, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And I will tell you that the arts helps make better STEM. And so I can even tell you, as a scientist growing up, I played violin, piano, and saxophone. And being able to see that and to see the patterns bring something together that can actually be a production, whether it's a musical or something, is important for you to be able to see the pieces and have that systematic thinking process. And so the art kind of hinges it. And so at our school, you will see art played out in different ways. You will see mathematics included in art. So there will be a perception piece where a student is standing at a certain distance, and what does that distance look like for an object further away and close up. And so we try to infuse that. And so with that, it also gives us the ability to express ourselves. So we have very talented students who are gifted in math or gifted in engineering or technology, but they also are artistic. And so they find themselves not only in our robotics group, or they're playing drums, or they're playing violins. So it's able to bring meet the need of the complete student.
That's so very. And talk a little bit about why that's important, today and in the future. And I know I've heard it being purported that one of the reasons that the United States lags behind some other countries is because we are not at the same level, with those countries in STEM. So talk a little about why it's important that STEM becomes an intricate part of a young person's education.
Well, and I'll go at it from when you talked about the United States and their positioning not being the leader anymore. This is what I've talked to a lot of conferences across the country about. That is one of the things that we have to do to have diverse thinking is to have diverse people at the table. And so there actually been research about that the best STEM producers are the groups that have diversity of thought coming from different patterns. So if you have the same type of person in the room, they're going to come up with the same solution to a problem. But if you have people from different backgrounds and approach it from different angles, that's when the science is in advance. So for us to advance as a country, then we have to have everybody around the table. It can't be the same groups because their solutions, their perspectives aren't diverse enough to be able to handle today's problems. And so then when you look at our students, then you look at the world opening up to them, because STEM really doesn't see a color. STEAM doesn't see a color. If you're a good mathematician, if you're good at technology, if you have an interest, if you can have those opportunities, you can still be successful. So that's what we're here at Cirrus, is to have people have the foundation, but also get the students instilled in their minds that with the opportunities, they can succeed, and that's what we're preparing them for.
Well, talk a little bit about the activities in those particular disciplines in science, technology, engineering. You talked a little about art, with how it encompasses what you're doing. But speak more specifically, if you would, about what happens in the school's endeavor to instill, these disciplines in the young people.
So what we've done is we've provided several different outlets. So in addition to our core courses and having cross grade-wise, and we're kindergarten through 8 kind of STEAM activities, whether that's community service activities that have STEAM aspects in it, or projects like the solar eclipse. So that was a wonderful time here because we had people writing journal articles to themselves of what they remembered from today and what they believe they're going to be like in 20 years with that solar eclipse. We had them doing predictions, based on where we are mathematically, how much of the sun will be eclipsed. Now take that mathematic equation and let's do a visual representation with an art piece. And so we had a lot of activities going on around solar eclipse. In addition to that, we have the different outlets, like we have the robotics team. And so we have students who are very talented, but they're also competing in the robotics team. One of the things that we just launched, which is the only public school in Macon, Georgia area, is our Civil Air Patrol. And so that is a cadet program that is all about STEAM. And we had 31 children who signed up to participate and who are now in basic training for that. So it's not only the STEAM concepts.
Now, when you said Civil Air Patrol, you talk about airs and airplanes?
Yes.
Is that what you
So it's a part of the Air Force.
Wow.
And so it's unlike another cadet program or ROTC program where students are drilling and getting campus experience. This is an experience for them where they will actually be called out to service with Red Cross and FEMA and emergencies and things. It's an opportunity for them not only to learn the discipline of steam and aerodynamics and everything else, but if they actually get 10 flights within the cockpit with the pilot and 10
flights like in the air?
And then 10 glider flights. And they continue on that path. They start in 6th grade, and by the time they're 14, they can get their pilot's license. So we're looking at opening up the world to our students. And then involved in that is also character building. So they had a lesson on integrity. They'll have lessons on bullying. They'll have lessons on teamwork. And so there's always the leadership components, the character building, and the STEAM expertise, and the opportunity to have unique skill sets that will allow them to stand head and shoulders above the next group of students.
That is so exciting and so phenomenal, and I'm sure that there are literally thousands of young people in this community who would be a part of that. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk more specifically about, I always want to call it Cirrus, but it's Cirrus, Cirrus Academy, and, you know, a lot of the great things that you all are doing over here. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Miss Ashanti, Dr. Ashanti Johnson, Superintendent, Cirrus Academy. We'll be right back.
Hello, welcome to Cirrus Academy. My name is Dr. Ashanti Johnson. I'm the superintendent, and we're happy to have you here. So on this wing of the school, we have our specialist courses, including art, visual arts, and this is the artwork of Mrs. Q, who's our talented artist, as well as our art teacher. We're having the normal PE. We're also doing STEM in the gym, as well as basketball, football, and competitive soccer teams. And so they're always learning not only the academic part of it within whatever they're doing, including PE. So I'm going to show you one of our projects. Charter schools don't receive the same level of funding as other schools. But we really wanted to have a library for our students. And so earlier this past fall, we were able to compete for furniture that was being auctioned off at a West Library. And so we have the furniture, we have some donated books coming in, and we have the retirees from Bibb Retirement Association who are helping us to put this library together. So we hope to get more books and get the cataloging system, but we're really excited about this new project that we have.
We're back. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Dr. Ashanti Johnson, Superintendent of Cirrus Academy. And we're here at Cirrus Academy talking about education and talking about the special programs and talking about the importance of STEM and STEAM, not only as it relates to this academy, but as it relates to our community. Let's talk specifically about, this school, how it was started, how it's doing, what one needs to get into the school, how, whether one has to pay or not, and what are some of the advantages. And all education is important. And everybody isn't meant, different people are interested in, everybody got a button.
Right.
But we all know that STEAM is important, to the success of an individual, like you just talked about. Well, I'm going to let you begin with what you said about why the Civil Air Patrol is important.
Okay, so one of the things that we have at Cirrus Academy is our Civil Air Patrol. Not only the curriculum that goes across grade levels that provides STEAM hands-on with building rockets and other exciting things from kindergarten to 8th grade and the principles behind that, but we also have our cadet program. And our cadet program is for our 6th through 8th grade students. And so we are the only public school in Macon-Bibb area that has that, and there's only one other school that's a private school that's located close to the Air Force Base. And so we partnered with them, gotten blessed by the headquarters of Civil Air Patrol, which is part of the Air Force in Alabama. And so they're working with us to start our unit. The first week we had 26 children to participate. 31 came last week, and it continues to grow. And so some of the things that is taught in there is not only the STEM concepts that reinforce it, but also the teamwork, the character, and the opportunities. I met young people within Civil Air Patrol that last year flew in an Israeli fighter jet. They went to New Zealand. They went, for a low amount of money, $300-400 that they had to raise, they were able to see the world open up to them. So the idea that our students who are here, that if they apply themselves by the age of 14 can be pilots, wow. That's the beginning of their new world. Wow. And so those are the things that we're really excited, and it leverages their interests. So you have the same students who are on our basketball team, our football team, our cheerleaders, who are saying, Dr. Johnson, this is great. So not only are there the athletes and they're the scholars, now they're seeing a different path for themselves. So we're really excited about that. And within our school, we try to find opportunities for different students and their interests. So we have a broadcasting club, and so there are students who are involved in that. We have a chess club. There are students that are involved in that, and the mathematic principles and reinforcement within chess. So it comes with a curriculum. And then we have our robotics group. We have a group of artists that are actually developing work for a silent auction. And so that's exciting for us as well. And we have our theatrical group, our drummers. We have our poets. We have creative writing that's going on. We have violin. We have keyboard. So there's different outlets for them to express themselves while they're learning the key content. And so that's what we provide here, an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to be creative.
Now you said public school, so this is a public school.
It is a choice school, public school, tuition free.
Okay. Now what does one need to do in order to be able to come here?
So there's an application process online or in the office, and you complete the application, and based on our placement as far as class sizes go, then it comes to first come, first serve. Okay,
do you have room for any more? With all this excitement, you're not busting out the seams yet.
So this is what I would say would be the strategy. We are starting to accept applications for next school year, for 2018-19. However, in order to be able to guarantee a spot, there are some spots open now. So there have been some students who are transferring in our school this academic year, so they'll have their position locked in for next year. And so that's the smart strategy.
Okay, now if somebody out there is interested in either getting his or her child into school, if somebody out there is interested, be it an individual, a company, a corporation, or a hospital, what could he or she do in order to support the school?
So we have a couple of different things that we're doing. So we have some wonderful supporters, and I have to say that we have both some private supporters as well as the church community. So we have 12 churches who've been just wonderful, and they've even helped to provide the transportation for our students to go out to Civil Air Patrol.
Wow.
We've had another group, Men About Change, who's providing the meals for them, because Civil Air Patrol practice is from 6 to 9 o'clock. So we don't have the students go home. So they have a long day on Thursdays. They end at 3, we do homework, then we roll out, and they get back here at 9:30 at night. And so with that, we have opportunities now, and I actually, if you look, and we talked about our library, so we're very blessed to have the start of a library, and for a charter school that's unique because the budget is not there. So we were able to get some furniture from West Library that was closing down, but to really be able to bring that up, then it requires some more sponsorship. There are other projects around the school, including the playground. We'd like to get, we have plenty of land, but we need to get it ready and prepared to play our own football and our own soccer games on our property. And so there are different things that we are asking for assistance.
Let me interrupt you now. I know some people, some site developers, and I want to say this publicly,
okay,
who know how to operate backhoes and things of that nature. So would you allow them to come in and prepare your grounds for football and soccer if they wanted to donate it?
We would, and we're a 501c3, and so they could also get that tax credit for doing that. But we definitely are looking for support of the community.
One thing I've always said, that, we all need to give back, and I try to do that constantly. So if there's someone out there, let me see, there's a camera over there. I want to look at it. if there's someone out there who is interested in contributing or helping or volunteering or making a donation to this fine institution, then be sure to call.
You can call me at the school.
Okay, what's the number?
How about going to the website?
Okay, well.
And so the website address is www.cirrusacademy.org. And so that'll have all our contact information, but we're really friendly. So we just suggest you come on by, and we'll always make time to talk with you.
Well, that would be the easier way to do that also. How about your staff? Mm-hmm. You know, let me tell you what I purport. I don't know, Doc, I don't know whether that's a real word or not, but I'm going to say it. I don't know whether the context is right. But I purport that education depends largely on your teachers, you know, and let me tell you why. How much time I got, Andrea? Okay, I'll say it quickly. When I was teaching, you know, there would be a student who would come into somebody else's class and just act up. But then when they would come into my class, they'd be a perfect gentleman, a perfect lady. Well, it's the same student. So what that implies is that it's the teacher, you know. So we'll talk about your staff. And let me say this before you say that. I noticed that you had a lot of men over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, I call them the men of Cirrus. So one of the things that we did this year, we're very proud of. We have about 11 males on staff, and that has been a world of difference for us. So not only are they coaches, but social studies teacher, other teachers in different capacities. So they're teaching the content, but also when there needs to be a discussion, a men-only discussion, then we've had the men talk with our boys in our building. When we need to have that kind of conversation, it's not just, wait, let's call your dad. But, okay, you're on the football team, or you're in Mr. Josie's social studies class, or you're in Mr. Pierre's music class. Let's go ahead and talk to them, because they need to have that role modeling. In addition to that, we have young teachers and we have retirees that's come back in the building, and I love that. And my retirees know I said I love my retirees. So our principal, Dr. Gail Fowler, long-term principal of Southwest High School, and others, wonderful people. We've had other people, Miss Edwards, who was a principal as well. Our special ed program collectively has 128 years of experience. And so we have paired young teachers with veteran teachers, and that's been the world of difference for us.
Well, that's outstanding. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Dr. Ashanti Johnson, who's the superintendent of Cirrus Academy, located at 1870?
Yes, sir.
Pinona Avenue?
Yes.
Right on the corner of Pinona Avenue and Mercer University Drive here in Macon, Georgia. And you said they can either go to the website,
which is www.cirrusacademy.org, and that's one way. Or just come by and visit us, and we'll always make time.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for the sacrifice you made. Because of you, it's plain to see. You have unlocked doors for me. So if I try, I can be whatever I set my mind to be. So I'm grateful to you.
Magnificent, despite the odds, became the first black woman astronaut. She went to school, she stayed on track. She didn't let anyone hold her back. So if I try, I can be whatever I set my mind to be. So I'm grateful to you.
I want to say thank you for the sacrifice you made. Because of you, it's plain to see. You have unlocked doors for me. So if I try, I can be whatever I set my mind to be. So I'm grateful to you.
Martin Luther King, he had a dream that he could live in harmony. In his fight for civil rights, he paved the way for you and me. So if I